Hi guys, and welcome to this new tutorial. In the previous tutorial we just made this first GET request to mine a new block, and now we're going to make a second GET request, which will be to get the full blockchain displayed in our user interface Postman. So we're going to do exactly the same as what we did for our mine block request, meaning that we're going to use the route decorator to specify the name of that request, and more specifically the URL of this request, and to specify also that it's a GET request. So that's why I'm copying this right now. I am pasting that here, and here we just need to replace this name, mineblock, by the name of our new request. And we're going to call this new request GET chain, as in we're going to get the full blockchain. And this method is still going to be a GET request. By the way, you're going to understand much better the difference between a GET request and a POST request in module 2, where we will introduce as well the POST request. But for now, we only need the GET request, and that's exactly what our GET chain request is going to be. All right, and now, exactly as we did before, we're going to define a new function. So I'm starting with def, and this function, we're going to call it, well, GET chain. And same, it doesn't take any argument. We are ready to start defining it. So it's going to be a much more simple function than the mineblock function we made previously, because basically in this function we're just going to display the full chain in our blockchain. And therefore, what I'm going to do directly now, it's going to look surprising, but I'm directly going to get my response variable, which will contain what will be displayed when we send the GET request, when we make the GET request. You know, the response that we will JSONify same as we did before will contain this whole blockchain in the JSON format. All right, so I'm introducing here some brackets because we're going to input two keys and of course two values. And these two keys are going to be first the chain, which will be nothing else than this chain list in our blockchain object. So in the init function, this chain list is initialized as an empty list. But of course, you know, when we mine some block with this mineblock function that we get with the mineblock request, well, this chain here is going to be populated with the blocks containing all their keys, and we are going to display in this response here all these blocks with all their keys. So the response is going to be long, but thanks to this chain variable that will be populated, well, we simply need to input here the chain key. And therefore, here we're starting with the chain key, and the value of this key is simply going to be the chain of our blockchain. Blockchain.chain, you know, blockchain is our object, and from this object, we get the chain attribute that is the chain variable. Perfect. That will give us the whole chain displayed in this response. And now we're just going to add something else, which will be quite practical when our chain is getting long, very long. It's the length of the chain. You know, we don't want to count the blocks in the whole chain when it's getting huge. It would be quite practical to have the length of this chain displayed at the end of the response. And therefore, I'm going to introduce here a new key, which will be, in quotes, length. And that will be, of course, the length of the chain. And how do we get exactly the length of this chain? Well, very simply, we can use the len function, inside which we input the chain of our blockchain. So I'm just copying this and pasting that here. And there we go. We will get the length of our chain. Perfect. So that's our response. That's it. We are ready to return it in the JSON format with same, the HTTP status code 200 to tell that everything is okay. And therefore, I'm going to copy this right now, copy, and paste it just below, like this. And there we go. I have very exciting news for you now. We are ready to start the demo. We're going to do this in the next tutorial. I can't wait to show you this. And until then, enjoy blockchains.